Chug that. And also stir it.
And bop it.
You got to stir it. Then twist it. Then pull it. Then, leave me alone.
There are good movies and there are great movies.
And unfortunately, those are not the movies we watch because this is shitty cinema. Casey, what do we do here?
We are 4 terrible people who like to torture each other with bottom-of-the-barrel scuzzy fucking movies around a different theme each month. I'm Casey, and I'm here with Juice, Dave, and Jay, and we are going to ruin your life with a movie here and now, in this moment.
And I promise you, she's not kidding.
So this month is Shop Till You Drop, Capitalism month. It's all about that cheddar, dollar bills, y'all, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of shopping malls, a lot of bling.
Shopping malls, we're not making a must, but when I think commerce
It's
and
kind of-
dying,
yeah.
I think shopping malls. And to get us in the mood this week, I need a drink, as always. And
I don't want to do this.
It's
Casey
actually
made a
not.
cocktail.
Go figure.
Yeah.
Casey made a cocktail.
This is Casey's cocktail.
This is Casey's Orange Boozelius. When I think shopping mall, I think fucking Orange Julius because I never got to go there because I never had money. So I just got to see all these thin women drinking Orange Julius all the time. So I decided to do a copycat recipe and replace the water and half the milk with vodka.
So
bottoms up.
Which cock does this remind you of?
If Sonny D had like a Kool-Aid guy and he had a cartoon penis.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
It tastes like sherbet. It's just sherbet.
It tastes like orange sickle.
It does
Yeah, it
almost
tastes like
taste
somebody
an
melted
orange
an orange sickle and then
I actually
it
kind of
went
enjoy
off
that.
slightly.
And everybody was yelling at me when I walked through the door of the Fifth of Burnett's today.
You know
No
what?
one was happy to see me with that.
You know what? I would totally go fucking hang out at a mall and drink this drink. This is extremely fucking topical for the day.
I don't think you can have more than 2 because they're very fucking sweet.
They're very sweet.
Or more
Yeah,
than one,
that
really.
was-
Jesus Christ, Dave! You just fucking slammed that one too.
Yeah.
Dave,
Well, we
our
better.
resident alcoholic.
Everybody finish
That's
your
what
drinks.
Dave does.
Slam that. I slurped it down
I'm gonna
at a regular pace.
Like he always does with my big sloppy cocktails. David.
Ba-doom.
Well, speaking of our mall-infused cocktails this month, we're going to start this month off right. Casey, the fuck did you decide to do for us today?
Paul Blart, legal name, blood fart, mall cop.
The motherfucking blood fart mall cop.
Listen, every time I hear the last name Blart, it sounds, what's the word? A word up.
Portmanteau?
It's a portmanteau of blood fart. Blart. Blood. First part, blood. Last part, fart. And we decided that is Paul Blart's long-standing family name that was shortened when they came here to this country.
Well, this movie was heavy on the fat jokes, so I feel like
Oh, he
he's
said heavy on
probably-
the fat
Oh,
joke.
unintentional. But
Thanks,
we still
Juice.
love it. Thanks, Juice.
You are so welcome. So I imagine he's had a hemorrhoid or two. Let's be honest.
Or 11. This movie was a hemorrhoid that I'm too embarrassed to talk to my doctor about.
Oh, really?
Listen.
Paul Blart, Mall Cop, was a bad choice of films? I wonder how you could have ever known that going in.
Listen, I chose this for the wrong reasons. I chose this movie to watch you guys watch this movie.
I mean,
And to
that's
be
the right
fair,
reason.
I didn't make a totally wrong decision. All of you looked miserable the whole time. It was like the Twilight effect of when I made you watch Twilight. Twilight 5.
You know, we'll get into it. But first, you
Me?
have to come up with an elevator pitch for Paul Blart Mall Cop. So it's
Yeah.
Black Friday. You're in an elevator at the mall trying to get to the ground floor. You glance out the window, but you realize there is an extreme meth head on a skateboard
God damn
flying
it.
through the air towards you.
Fuck you, Midwest.
You've got about 10 seconds before he comes crashing through the glass side of this elevator. Whenever you're ready, Casey.
A fat mustachio man has a heroic fever dream as he dies of a hemorrhaging after rear-ending a Chrysler on a moped.
Okay, that was under 10 seconds. I don't know that it was the most accurate summation of what we watched.
It was. I feel like this whole movie was a hallucination because in the first 10 minutes, Paul Blart gets seriously injured and rear ends a Chrysler while he's on a Segway. And what I think the rest of that scene was is he slowly bled out on the way to the hospital and died, kind of like that Mars Volta album that's really fucking good, but he was like dying and on drugs and shit. Anyway, that's what this movie is, because everything was so improbable, and honestly, Paul Blart would still get bullied in his own fantasies where he's the most powerful being in the universe. What do you think this movie was about?
Am I on the clock for this?
No.
Okay.
You don't have to be. You're
Everyone
salaried.
is going to be timing you.
You're a mall cop. You're salaried, obviously.
Okay.
$18,000 a year.
So our titular character, Paul Blart, the mall cop, that's why they call it Paul Blart, mall cop?
Is it,
Yeah.
Oh,
Dave.
It's subtle, but
gotcha.
Dave.
I thought it was like blood
This is my
rain, but
finger.
blood fart, and it's just a guy,
She's committed to that.
she's really
a
committed
very
to
anemic
blood fart.
man who keeps passing out.
So Paul Bloodfart is a cop wannabe and a single dad. His wife used him for a green card and then bailed. I shouldn't be making a big deal about that, but the movie did, and
They brought it
never
back.
brought it up again
No, they brought it back at one point at the very end.
for a joke. It was bad.
No, this whole movie was a fucking joke.
Yeah. He works in a mall where he meets Amy, a sales clerk at a hair extension kiosk, and he falls in love with her after she draws a smiley on a receipt.
Are hair extension kiosks a thing?
In 2009,
Yes,
I want to say
and
yeah,
they still
were.
are. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah, when's the last
that's
time
thing.
you went to the mall, Jay? Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he rides a Segway around the mall, which, to be honest, actually looks like a lot of fun, especially the commute to work in the morning.
He makes it look fun.
He does make it look fun. He rides a Segway around the mall, plays video games way too loud, and doesn't hear the mall taken over by a group of hostages trying to pull some type of like Die Hard scheme. So he decides he's going to be a hypoglycemic John McCain and take all of them out.
Hypoglycemic John McClane.
Yeah,
McCain.
this was pretty much a Die Hard in a mall with Segways.
Wait, did you say McCain or McClane?
McClane.
McClane, that's the
I thought you said John McCain.
Oh, did I? It was supposed to be McClane, but we can roll
Isn't
with
that
McCain.
the guy that did the yeah?
No, I don't know who that is. So the mall is taken over by a group of extreme parkour thieves. Amy and Paul Blart's daughter are taken hostage. He ices the X Game riders one at a time, chases the leader to an airport, where he finally gets to save the day, get the girl, and decides he'd rather go on being a mall cop than an actual real cop with a gun and a paycheck.
Gnarly, bro.
That make you feel, Dave?
This whole thing was just... It was product placements and jokes that didn't land.
Oh, man,
one
so
after
much.
another.
This
So
movie
much.
was not a joke.
Wait, there were
Because
jokes.
jokes make me laugh and smile and
Blood
feel
farts
good.
are not fucking funny,
They
man.
are not. They claim the lives of 25,000 Americans a year in
According
a mall.
to the CDC.
And Dick Wolf.
I don't think that's true.
Listen, this movie tried.
Did
and
it?
by tried, I mean Adam Sandler, that fucking piece of shit, put his fucking name on it, and I hope walked away.
This was a Happy Madison production. They
Yeah.
are very reliable moneymakers.
That's the first thing I wrote down was Happy Madison dash oh fuck.
Yeah, me too. Oh shit, it's a Happy Madison film. That was my first thing.
Paul Blart, mall cop. I said it without saying blood fart. I'm really proud of myself.
You did well.
Paul Blart. God damn it. Paul Blart, blood cop, only takes less than 90 seconds to have its first fat joke. Kevin James is so much more than just fat. He has a mustache. He has eyebrows that are not working. They're working too much. They're too thin. I'll go on later about his fucking eyebrows and the way they move, but they make me really, really upset.
I can see you're passionate about it.
But Paul Blart is just one fucking fat joke after another, after another.
30
And none of them are good.
Of them. No.
You counted Jews?
I counted them, and I couldn't keep track of the actual jokes themselves. Because as
Listen.
Casey said, they were fucking terrible.
Juice is our resident titty ticker, but we had a
There's no tits.
strong
There
feeling
could
there
have
were
been
going to
Kevin
be no
James's
tits.
tits.
We never saw him once.
Yeah,
Dave,
I'm
did
really
you Google
surprised
that?
they weren't in
Potential.
there. Did I Google Kevin James tits?
If we were
yeah.
going to see him in the movie, you
No,
knew it
I
was.
didn't.
Let me see your
last
phone,
week.
Dave.
Let me see your history. Get his little
Let
tablet.
me
borrow your phone.
Get his little tablet.
No.
Get it from him. Tickle him.
Any particularly good fat jokes? I don't
I-
actually remember any of them.
I can tell you one. There was a bunch of physical humor. If
yeah.
humor is a word you would use if you didn't know what it meant. But there was a lot of fat action happening
faction.
The only one I could pick out of the fucking mess was he buys a birthday card, and by buys I mean steals a birthday card out of a locked mall store to give to a hostage, aka the wig lady that works at the wig store that he's been harassing for 2 days, and writes in her birthday card, and I quote, "You are like a great meal, stuffed full of feelings. P.S. I didn't even have to unbutton my pants." If I received that on a card from a man who'd been continually harassing me over 2 days, I would call that escalation and go immediately to a real cop, not a blood fart cop. No, I would not kiss him.
On the mouth?
Not the mouth nor the south mouth.
Okay, I did not catch that when they showed it in the film.
Yeah, they showed. That's why I was
Yeah.
screaming.
Yeah.
I was screaming out loud. Did you catch that?
I don't understand the PS, but I really don't want you to explain it to me.
I
It
think we
means
need
he
to
can
explain
come
it.
without touching his penis.
That was what I didn't want you to explain.
Oh. Well, unlike most of his pains, at least this isn't blood this time. So it's a win. It's a win.
No one wins.
Did anybody else catch it? Did anybody get to write down any fat jokes, or were we all so numb by it that no one else could?
They were
fucking
all
handle it?
terrible because even that one was just awful. It just had shock value.
Yeah, Kevin James. Okay, like they made a fat joke out of Kevin James can't do video game hurdles on a treadmill that
I
makes
couldn't
you leap.
do that though.
Right.
Yeah. No, absolutely not. Absolutely
You,
not.
9
But
out
I'm
of 10
also
people
not
are
in
going to
shape
fail with
either.
that.
Like, just so you know, while our voices sound like pure sexual velvet, none of us are exactly what you would call cut.
Paul Blart capitalizes on lazy writing, and it uses a fat joke with him being in an air duct where he's too fat, and when he's hanging his legs out of
Yeah.
it to hide from the extreme skateboarders that are named after fucking reindeers coming after him, he has to hold in a fart because he's
No, that was
fat.
his stomach grumbling because he hadn't eaten lunch.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
because he's-
no,
He was
and
waiting
he
on
farted.
his-
He farted.
Yeah,
Remember?
I
And it was
thought there was a fart.
I
There was only stomach
God.
grumbling.
yeah, I thought it was a stomach grumble that was building up to a fart that he successfully fought off.
He
No,
said that he hadn't eaten lunch yet, and that's why his daughter was there, is bringing the sloppy joes he requested the night before from his mom.
Okay, but counterpoint, we just spent a solid minute debating whether that was a stomach grumble or a fart, so I think
They're
Paul
winning.
Blart won.
The terrorists are winning. The fucking terrorists have won. Shit.
Like, that's what we had to talk about from this film was whether or not he farted in...
We could also talk
There
about
was a lot of fart jokes.
how
actually.
Paul Blart almost never walked anywhere.
No.
And this is called a segue into a segue.
Segway.
Segue because it's so 2009.
I don't get it.
I do indeed see what you did there. Yeah, he rides
Do
a,
you?
he rides a Segway absolutely everywhere, including from his house to work, which honestly, I can get down on that. Actually.
Right. I mean, it's
Especially
like,
if you drive it
it's
forward.
green energy.
Right? It's very, it's good for the planet.
You can
and
smoke a fucking spliff on it, and just like before everybody gets up and starts getting around getting the paper and doing their chores, just fucking burn one on the way to work. But here's the one thing that was almost enjoyable about this movie: Paul Blart is really good on a Segway, and they have a video for his date, like it could become viral video because it's 2009. We're fucking obsessed with it. I guess we still are. But it's him doing tricks on the Segway, and he's actually looks fucking awesome on it.
yeah, didn't he
looks-
ghost ride it at one point?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Are you lauding
Kevin James can move on a Segway.
awesome Segway skills, Dave? Was that like a check out how awesome this dude is on a Segway?
You know what else I've got written down here? Do you want to talk about that, or do you want to find some bit of joy in this KFC pile of shit Casey just brought us?
It's a sharing bucket.
Right, I picked out a piece of corn here.
I didn't even
Man,
see
I'm
spinners on
trying.
that Segway, Dave. There were no spinners.
No
it was
spinners.
2009. We should have had spinners.
He's got mall cop money. He can't afford spinners. Plus, it's a company vehicle.
He
can't
lives with
modify
his
that.
mom. What the fuck?
Yeah, what is he spending his money on? He doesn't have to pay child support to anyone. His wife shit a kid out
He
and
pays
ran away.
all the child support. He's not getting any money.
But I'm saying he's not
He's the only
spending
one
money.
supporting the child.
No, his mom is too because he lives with his mom.
Okay, but most of his money's probably going to supporting the child then.
She said she worked at Foot Locker.
You know how
No,
much
that
money
was a
he
lie
makes?
so that she didn't want the bad guy to know
Well,
that she
it
was
shouldn't
Paul
be.
Blart's
She's
daughter.
old
Yeah,
enough
she was
to
like
work.
a 9-year-old.
She's like fucking 16 emotionally. Get a fucking job.
At Foot Locker,
Yeah.
one of the
no,
32 corporate sponsors we had in this film.
What? Was it really 32?
Yeah, that's what I counted up.
Wait,
David,
that's
how
really
did you pay
specific.
attention to any parts of the film while
We can
counting?
run through them.
Yeah, you want to run through them really
Okay,
fast?
yeah, let's try and. So we got Victoria's Secret, Chrysler, Segway, Crane and Company, WM Waste Management, EA, The Sims 2, Ratchet and Clank, PlayStation 3, Rock Band, Orange Julius, Claire, Sony, Vio Computers, Dunkin' Donuts, Haagen-Dazs, FYE, Sharper Image, Mystic Tan, Disney, Milton's, Coca-Cola, Foot Locker, Hallmark, Amazon, McDonald's, Champs, Rainforest Cafe, Verizon Wireless, Lord & Taylor's, Macy's, and Reebok.
I was so excited to see Orange Julius because I already knew what I was bringing in Orange Boozlius. Dave brought up the point that the only way this movie got made was just, it was a long, unfunny commercial.
Oh, yeah. This movie was in the black before they even released in theaters. There were so many sponsors
And Jay-
lined up.
How did Paul Blart do in the theaters and in the box offices? Was it a flop? Was it a bullet? Was
No,
it a
they did
blood
amazing.
fart
In the script.
In
No.
juice?
Speaking of Segway's corporate sponsors.
They like got 6 times, 7 times their money back.
Yeah, 26 million budget
didn't see
and
that.
186 million box office.
No way.
How was that $26 million to make?
Because they shot it in a fucking mall.
Yeah, they had to rent that mall out. They damaged some stuff there.
If that movie took more than a week to film, they're fucking insane.
Cast and crew. That's where that money goes.
I'm beginning to not like Kevin James as a person, and I don't want to. I don't really have anything to watch. I never watched any of his shows, but he looks like he's probably a nice guy in real life.
He probably is, but that doesn't matter.
That
It doesn't give you
He's
free
the bad
rein.
man now.
I don't think I'm a complete asshole, but that doesn't mean that you should.
Yeah, but you didn't Paul Blart us, and you also didn't make us watch a fucking 90-minute commercial for dead malls.
No, you fucking did.
No.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did. That was you.
Yeah.
You can send Juice a segue on the website at juice@shittycinema.com.
Sold.
And speaking of segues,
Are you going
Jay,
to segue away from segues?
I'm going to segue away from segues and segue into the terrible fucking Happy Madison 80s rock soundtrack.
All of it. All of it. Actually, I think we point out that they were all rock band songs.
Most of them.
A fair, yeah. They surely borrowed from that ensemble.
I think there was one that wasn't.
It was all stuff that was owned by Sony Music.
It was
That
definitely
was for
not Frankenstein.
That was a good. That was a good song.
Yeah, I mean, no,
They were
the
all
music
good
was
songs.
good.
What
It
was
just-
the song the karaoke guy sang in the bar?
There's like 3 of them, I think.
The first one, because it was in the movie a couple times. One of the few redeeming scenes or moments of a scene was they're in a basically Applebee's type of situation. And
American Joe.
is that a real
It's
restaurant?
its own thing. Nah, I looked at it.
Oh, I was like, sorry, that was a line from a movie, but I was a little like, oh shit, okay.
Don't fucking offend Dave.
Yeah,
I
with
don't-
that sense of authority, I was convinced that was really a thing.
I don't get into mall shit, but the karaoke guy was absolutely amazing. He was amazing.
That
He
was
was
Kevin
on
James'
point.
brother.
Yes,
Was it really?
Yeah.
Dave pointed out it's Kevin James' brother, and he did not look like him at all in the movie. But then when Dave Googled his photo later,
Yeah,
he just looks like Kevin James. I
Yeah.
can't believe it's the
Oh,
same
no.
person.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
nuts.
It's uncomfortable.
What was it? He had a really cool name, that his screen name.
Gary Valentine.
Gary Valentine.
Yeah,
Yeah. I love that.
that is a great screen name.
Also, I just want to point out we're supposed to be sympathetic towards Paul Blart. He's the
I was not.
bumbling.
Big
No, nobody
fucking
was.
Air
Were we?
quotes.
Yeah, big fucking air quotes. Like, he's getting picked on and blah, blah, blah. And
He doesn't have anybody that loves him.
he's a fucking incel in the making.
Yeah.
He's
I mean, one of the most disturbing
everything
parts of this
about
entire
it.
movie was there was a very good subline of stalking and sexual predator.
There were
Predatorism.
There were 5 instances of direct stalking, 3 of which were Paul Blart, 2 of which were a side bit strange Indian man on a cell phone.
But they immediately became friends because obviously they shared the same
Right.
demeanor.
And they're like, hey, we should start a website, and hey, we should get on Reddit and make more friends.
Yep.
Like, you're supposed to be like, oh, he's a nice guy. Paul Blart gets in a wing eating contest with a guy in their, or I'm
Nachos.
sorry,
It was
nacho eating
nachos.
contest.
Oh, and
And they had peppers on. He's like, oh no, can't handle this. And he goes over to what he thinks is a pitcher of lemonade and starts like drinking the fucking pitcher of lemonade. And they're like, wow, you fucking chug that like a champ. Margarita mix. He's like, I don't drink alcohol. And then proceeds to get fucking ham-boned. Okay.
And we had like a 15-minute drunk-tage of him stupidly just bumbling around.
Let me say a couple things. Number one, if that was his first time drinking or his first time drinking in a really long time, he would have been barfing 20 minutes in because that shit's so sweet. And then you see him like drinking a bunch of other fruity drinks, so on. He's going to be in the bathroom with the fucking barfs and the blood farts. So and then he's going home on his Segway and ending up in a ditch. So obviously, Paul Blart has a dark history of alcoholism and it destroying his life. So Paul Blart goes on a fucking rampage. This whole bar is a dick to everybody, talking shit. He gets super handsy with the girl that he just met, that he was almost like convincing he's a good guy to. And he fucking is just super aggressive towards her and a fucking asshole about the whole situation. And then we're supposed to feel bad for him when he gets up the next morning and she doesn't want shit to do with him.
I don't want shit to do with him.
Probably why his first wife left.
So,
Yeah.
listen. Paul Blart, the character, has hypoglycemia, which is a sensitivity to sugar, and when he drinks alcohol, its effects are multiplied. So that was really just the movie that Casey watched in her head.
Yeah, he like medically can't drink. Yeah. He gets super drunk.
Paul Blart's first wife left because he was beating the shit out of her and he's a goddamn drunk. And a cokehead. I don't know. Probably.
No, he's a pixie head.
Right. That was pure fucking cocaine.
We see him mainlining pixies throughout this film.
Yes.
Yep.
Pixie sticks.
That's how he keeps his sugar up.
That's where all his money goes. It's not actually, it's like a cocaine pixie mix, combo.
This was rife with drugs. Not only is there cocaine Carl Paul blood fart, there's also the extreme meth heads that are parkouring all over a lockdown mall to steal fucking credit card codes. I don't understand that subplot of the credit card.
It doesn't matter.
machines.
They're
It doesn't.
They're bad
You're
guys, and they're all named after reindeer.
That's true. All their code
Surprisingly.
names.
That is the best code
Prancer.
name system.
It was supposed to
Blitzen.
be like
Blitzen.
Donner.
Yep. But do
Yes.
you recall the most
it's Rudolph. Maya
important
Rudolph.
reindeer of them all?
Yeah, these are the villains of our film that are supposed to be a threat, but they mostly just seem like a bunch of
Prancer,
BMX riders.
you take the back.
Prancer.
That was the line.
That was an actual
I
line.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get him in the rear.
Yeah,
Get him in the
Prancer-
rear.
Prancer, and at least my favorite, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Meth Head.
That is
Yes,
my favorite.
He was great.
They spent an inordinate amount of time riding around the mall on BMX bikes
Yeah.
and
And
skateboards,
skateboards.
doing tricks and shit.
Right.
There's parkour people that were running and
Yeah,
jumping
there
over
was some
shit.
great
Did they
parkour.
bring the bikes or did they steal the bikes?
Okay, there's many things about this I don't get because they sneak some kind of large box of something in.
Were
to the
those
mall
the
through
bikes?
the back. I don't know. You could have just walked the bikes in through the front door. I don't get why they went through all of the extra garbage when their plan was completely incoherent.
Especially when you find out they had the head of New Jersey FBI on their side.
SWAT.
SWAT.
Man.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
SWAT man.
SWAT man.
The SWAT
I
man.
want to slot him just fucking.
SWAT man.
The bad
man.
guy of this film actually took the time to train as a mall cop to learn the ins and outs of the mall so he could fucking get his baddie reindeer guy. So he's like bad Santa.
Oh
And-
yeah, that was the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of them took the time to become a mall cop. Another one was willing to betray his duties as a SWAT officer,
SWAT man.
as a SWAT man.
And here's the deal. This is all for, as they said, $30 million.
Okay, I
No.
gotta. As someone who's worked in a mall, you cannot steal $30 million from a mall. There is absolutely nothing you can do.
Yeah, you can. You
Yeah,
just don't
so-
have the stores pay rent for 2 months.
You want to
can't
know you
sell
steal $30 million in a
Bing
mall?
bang.
You open a mall.
Yeah. Okay. I'll allow
Fair.
it.
Fair. But regardless, that's $30 million that at first we're splitting, what, 8 ways, 9 ways? And then
I
we got
don't-
this SWAT guy getting in here too. That's another one.
Then you
They're
have all the
getting
medical costs for the meth heads that are throwing themselves through windows and getting all cut up
You
and
have-
shit.
Yep, you have all of the upfront costs for all the
Stitches.
technology that they had.
Band-Aids.
How much did the private plane to the Caymans to get them out of their cost? That's just
God.
throwing a couple
Yeah.
million out the window right there.
AAA
Sensor-
antibiotic ointment.
Proximity activated flash grenades. Oh my god.
Paper towel. That's what I use when I don't have Band-Aids.
One high note of this film, though, that I did really enjoy that I wasn't supposed to. Steve
Wait, what
Renner-
do you mean we're supposed to?
I mean our secondary antagonist of the film, Stuart, played by Steve Razzle
Razzle-dazzle.
Dazzle,
Razzle-dazzle.
the guy from The League. We're supposed to hate him, but I just loved him.
No, he was a great character
He
because
was a voice for the audience.
He's a pen salesman in the store or
And
in the
he's
mall,
this-
and just an absolute dickbag who wears the worst douchebag clothing.
It's like wearing Affliction
man.
T-shirts with a fucking
Yeah, gold
like
chain.
a suit jacket.
And
Let's
uses
bring that back, you guys.
Steve uses wonderful pickup lines like, "How would you like to sign your name with this panther?"
the XL 2000F Phantom.
Does it vibrate?
I think it's just a phone pen.
Can I start my car with it? Both sexual and non-sexual.
I don't know.
Well, someone get on to making that and sell the rights to shittycinema.com.
I think Steve Razzmatazz would love to sell you that pen.
That would be so nice of him. I bet he's nice in real life.
I hope so.
Yeah, well, if he's not, I'll beat the shit out of him in a Victoria's Secret.
That was actually my favorite part of this entire movie.
That was
the
the
one-
only good part of
One
this
good scene
movie.
of the movie.
I
Paul
think
Blart.
if you really want to end on a high note,
Yeah, that's the real high note of the film is Paul Blart getting his ass kicked in a Victoria's Secret.
by a woman
woman.
who was he initially, called her fat because we got to have another fat joke.
We gotta
in
have
there.
another fat joke.
But he was humble about it because he double entendred the fat joke with "I'm struggling with weight too."
Here's the thing.
But
It's not even a fat joke. These two women were fighting over a push-up bra that neither one of them it looked like it would have fit. It would have been too big for the skinny lady, and it would have been too small for the fat lady.
No.
You can't be broken up with forever.
at least one of them said they had a date tonight to wear it on.
The bigger lady
The bigger
did,
lady,
and that's
and then
why
she
he's like, "Come over
got
here."
scoffed at.
We all know you don't have a date because you're fat, and I'm lonely, and I'm fat, so everyone's going to be fat and lonely with me. But
Is Kevin James here?
he just snuck out the window. Dick Wolf dropped him off.
If that movie taught me anything, he is too fat to fit out the window up here.
God damn it, you're right.
It's like the Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah.
Oh no.
He'll come crashing through the ceiling any moment now.
Just like Kevin James did in this movie.
You mean
times?
blood fart?
3 times?
2 times. Oh my God, we'll never get the blood out of that ceiling. Shit. Oh,
Yeah,
shit,
blood
we'll
shit,
never get
yeah.
the shit
Yeah,
out
shit
either.
blood.
No.
Blood shit, blood farts.
Oh, listen. I know you'd never want to have blood farts again, but
Wait.
Dave, would you watch this movie again?
Is it this or the blood farts?
If you
You're
watch the
hesitating way
movie,
too long.
you're still going to get the blood farts,
That's-
or you can just have the blood farts.
Okay, no.
I mean, they make maxi pads. Listen. As the only person in this room whose bottom half of their body bleeds regularly, you can function more than you think you can.
Okay.
Well, listen,
No.
let's not qualify.
You're the only
that.
person who's in this room whose bottom half bleeds on a regular schedule.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
I'll allow it.
So I would rather man pawn it up and take the blood farts than watch this movie again.
Wow.
Because it was just a series of product placements intercut with jokes that don't land, intercut with more product placements. I just watched Adam Sandler and his friends take a vacation again, and I don't know how he keeps tricking me into doing this.
Did your mom crochet that on a pillow, Dave?
The one
Only
good line.
good
of this
line
movie.
in this movie. Juice, would you watch this movie again, or would you rather have blood farts?
I'll take the blood farts. Wow. Yeah, no, I'm not watching this movie again. It was just a infomercial. Like, I've been really, really drunk before, and I'm like, I had way too much caffeine today. It's fucking like 3 o'clock in the morning, but I can't go to sleep, and I have to have something on TV, and that's what I just watched. Forcibly.
Jay, would you watch this again?
All right, if we're gonna call it Paul Blart Blood Fart,
The reef.
we can
bloodening.
even go farther and make it into a movie that I definitely would want to watch, and that is Paul Blart Bloodsport.
Blood
Yes.
Shark.
And Blood Shark. No, it's Paul Blart. Paul Blart Blood Sport. Paul Blart Blood Sport. Paul Blart Bloodsport. And in this movie, Jean-Claude Van Damme kicks the living shit out of Paul Blart.
He makes
Blood
him start
fart
blood.
and makes it shark blood. Fuck! This is the worst one. I won't watch this movie again because I can't say anything anymore. Casey, you brought this. You did this to us. It is your fault. Will you watch this movie again?
I will watch Paul Blart Blood Shark with Jean-Claude Van Damme and be at half-mast the whole time, at least until the finale, the resharpening. No, I will not watch this movie again. I regret bringing it. It was great to watch you guys get tortured by this, but it was horrible in and of itself. I just watched a fucking creepy mall cop stalk a woman from a wig store and then refuse to apologize for getting way too fucking drunk. So, nope, I see that happen a lot already, and I'm sorry, you guys. I mean, the Orange Boozlius was good. The Orange Boozlius was good.
The Orange Boozlius was good. I did, because they all stopped being real words. This popped into my head, and I am going to put this out in case someone on the internet wants to make it happen. If someone made Paul Blart Bloodborne, where they modded Paul Blart into Bloodborne as a playable character, I would very much get down on that. But you need to include the segue. That's important to me.
I thought you were going to say Paul Blart, Jason Bourne, where he has amnesia and is a super killer. But again, it's just a fever dream after he runs into the back of a Chrysler on a Segway and is spazzing out on the cement. And you can kind of hear the ambulances around him, but he's going to a better place where he's a hero and he gets the girl in the wig shop.
Can I just like watch that without, his actual entendre, just up until the point where he smacks, and then I get to sit and watch him for 10 minutes as then
the life goes out of his life?
Yeah.
Only if it's in black and white, kind of like a French noir film.
So okay, it would start in color, and then the second that it hits, it slowly fades to black.
Yeah.
Black and white, and then
you're
more
like,
of a...
you don't notice it first, and you're like, is there something wrong with my eyes? No, there's something wrong with my heart.
And it's going.
So, guys, I'm sorry, but we have to continue on like the good worker bees we are, because it's fucking capitalism month.
Accepted.
Shop to a drop, baby. Who's up next? Who's next week?
I am coming up next with
Gross.
Chopping Mall from 1980 something. Yeah, you can see how well I've researched
Doesn't
this.
matter. It's the 80s.
Yeah, it's the 80s. It was supposed to be a horror movie about a robot in a shopping mall, and it's not horrifying at all, but it should hopefully be more fun than this shit show. So fingers crossed.
We'll see.
We shall see next week.
And we shall see you in the dark while you're sleeping.
Good, we're going to turn out the lights.
And you'll hear the blood farts from miles away.
Aww.
Bye!
It's so wet.